What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Reddit video here on the Life Stories channel. My name's Dylan and today we're going to be looking at some stories from the subreddit Entitled Parents, so sit back, relax and enjoy the show. My entitled mother-in-law-to-be threw my family heirloom engagement ring down a storm drain. Some people were telling me to post this story on here as well, so here you go. I've seen a lot of crazy people in my life, but my potential FMIL is the absolute worst person I have ever met. I, 30 female, have been with my boyfriend 31 male for 8 months now. For the first few months everything was amazing. He is the sweetest and most caring man I have ever been with. He likes to surprise me with fun dates and flowers for no apparent reason. The biggest surprise of all though was when I met his mother. I met his parents for the first time a few months ago. The first thing FMIL said to me was, "Are you Jewish?" I'm not, and I'm not particularly religious. I was raised a Catholic. Once I told her this, it was the beginning of the madness. She immediately stopped talking to me and acted as if I didn't exist. I was extremely nervous about meeting my boyfriend's parents, so this broke my heart. I was determined to make a good impression, so I kept trying to connect with her. This was a huge mistake and I should have just let it go. Once we were all seated for dinner, she finally decided to try and make conversation. I have naturally red hair and she asked me if my parents have the same colour. I told her that I have the same hair as my mother, and she then had the audacity to ask me, does the carpet match the drapes? I had no idea how to respond to that and just sat there stunned. Seeing my reaction, she said, "Don't worry, I'll just ask my son about it later." I looked over at my boyfriend who seemed equally as shocked, but he didn't say anything. She then started to go on about my hair being too curly. She told me that I really needed to learn how to run a brush through my hair and think about my appearance more when I'm out with her son. Then, when I didn't eat much at the dinner, she gave me her version of a compliment. I was told that it was good that I'm watching my weight because it would be a shame if I got any bigger. This was just my first meeting with this woman. As soon as I got into my car, I burst into tears until I got home. My boyfriend was texting me and apologising for his mother's behaviour, but the damage was done. I told him I needed time to think. He went into apology overload after this and started sending flowers to my office every day and leaving me messages begging me to talk to him about it. I finally agreed and we went out to dinner. He told me he spoke with his mother about her inappropriate comments and he swore it would never happen again. With this reassurance, I decided to give it another chance. Fast forward a few weeks when he invited me to come to a big family birthday. At this time I would also be meeting his sisters and his grandparents. His grandparents and sisters are awesome people. They asked me normal questions about my job, my family and my friends. His mother seemed to be avoiding me throughout the evening, and honestly, I was okay with that. I went to grab something from my purse and noticed it was not where I left it. I looked everywhere but I could not find it. I went and asked my boyfriend and he began to help me look. He then got a strange look on his face and quickly went upstairs. I could hear a lot of yelling beginning upstairs. He then came back down holding my purse after a few minutes and told me that we were leaving. Once I got into the car, I asked him what was going on. His mother had taken my purse so that she could see my driver's license. She intended to try and run a background check on me, and he told me that she had told him this earlier but had honestly thought that she was joking. I thought it was best if I avoided any of his family functions for the time being. This worked out great for a while and he went to any of his family parties alone. He would ask me each time before leaving if I was sure that I didn't want to go, but I always declined. Last week they had their family reunion and he asked me please to come with him. I was very reluctant, but considering there were so many people present, I didn't think she'd pull anything. When we got there everything was going great. I met his extended family, we got to catch up with his sisters. His mother did seem to be shooting me the evil death stares all night, but I brushed it off. Soon she came over and joined a table I was seated at with his sisters and some cousins. The conversation was pleasant as we were talking about his sister's children. His sister has a daughter who's 12 and is the same age as my niece. I then showed his sister a picture of my niece on my phone. His mother took a look at the screen and began to laugh. She told me she hopes that if me and her son ever had children, that they don't look like my niece. My niece is beautiful, by the way, and she's only 12 years old. What kind of monster attacks a 12-year-old child's appearance? This was my breaking point, and I went off like a volcano. I started to scream at her and told her that she's the most evil person I've ever had the disadvantage to meet. I told her that if I ever did have children with her son, that she could be certain that she would never ever meet them because hell is too far to travel to. I'm not 100% certain exactly everything I said, but that's what his younger sister later said, and she said it was epic. She began to play the victim and wailed that I'd misunderstood her joke. My boyfriend came rushing over at this point and she threw herself into his arms, telling him that I'm a horrible woman and he needed to throw me out right now. He told her he wasn't going to do that and she needed to stop making a fool of herself. She seemed to accept this for a moment and sat back down. She just kept sobbing that I didn't understand how to take a joke. Then something in her snapped and she noticed that my boyfriend was holding something in his hand. She began to have another meltdown. I didn't understand what was happening at this point and just stood there watching a grown woman pitch a fit like a toddler. None of what she was saying made any sense to me as it was mostly just incoherent screaming, but I did pick up on many derogatory comments directed my way. My boyfriend then told me that we were leaving and told me to grab my things. As I started to get ready, FMIL made a lunge for my boyfriend's hand and grabbed the little small box he was holding. She then looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You will never have this ring, you little She ran outside and threw the box down a storm drain. It turns out that my boyfriend was intending on proposing to me. He had just obtained his grandmother's ring whilst we were at the reunion. His grandmother is completely heartbroken because now her ring is down a storm drain instead of continuing on in the family as she'd always wanted. I don't know where to go from here. I'm devastated, I'm confused, and I'm exhausted. Can I ask him to never see his mother again? Is it even my place to say something like that? I'm sorry that my story is long, but I really needed to get this rant off my chest. Now, I was looking through the comments and there was lots of engagement, so I found an update to this story and I'm going to read it out to you guys now. Update: my FMIL threw my family heirloom engagement ring down a storm drain. I've been getting a lot of messages asking for an update on the ring situation. Unfortunately, it could not be found. The city came out to try and assist, but they could not uncover anything. My fiance and his family were devastated by this, and many of them have ceased communication with FMIL because of this. The ring had high significance in the family, more than I understood at the time of writing my first post. This was literally the straw that broke the camel's back for many of the family members. His sisters have chosen to keep in contact with FMIL. One of them told me that she's playing the victim card. That she's saying she had a mental breakdown and we all need to be more compassionate and understanding of her. I call this total rubbish and I know she knew exactly what she was doing when she threw the ring down the storm drain. I have a theory that the ring never actually went down the drain to begin with. I think that maybe she hid the ring somewhere on herself and threw the box down the drain. I have no way to prove this, but I've expressed this concern to my fiance and his family. It's a rather large house though and it could be hidden anywhere, and I don't think the ring will be found anytime soon if this is indeed what happened. On a happier note, I'm now engaged to my fiance. My engagement ring does not have the same sentimental value as the other ring, but I love my new ring just the same. I'm very happy to be engaged and I cannot wait to spend my life with my fiance. My fiance is on low contact with his mother, but word has reached her that we are engaged. After she found out, she apparently refused to leave her room for 3 days. She refused to speak to anyone or eat any food. The drama of this woman is unbelievable to me. Soon after I was told about her conditions, I started receiving a lot of strange emails and phone calls. I started getting phone calls from strange men asking me to perform a variety of different sexual things for them. Obviously I was mortified at this and immediately changed my phone number. I told my fiance what had happened, and he thinks that someone must be giving out my numbers to men they meet by mistake. I didn't believe that, so I did a Google search of my phone number and found a few Craigslist ads written about me. The descriptions are just too similar to my appearance, they even mention my red hair. I truly believe this is FMIL doing this. She knows how to post on Craigslist as she sells a lot of used things online. I have also been mysteriously signed up to a variety of different dating sites and porn sites. If this is FMIL, then I just don't know what she's going to do and when she's going to stop. This is a low level to drop to, and I cannot believe how pitiful this woman is. I showed all of this to my fiance and told him about my suspicions. He doesn't think his mother is that tech savvy to be able to pull this off. Then what he said next chilled me to my bones, as I thought his older sister liked me. He said his older sister had mentioned that to maintain a healthy relationship, you should be checking on your partner's phones daily. She proceeded to tell him that there should be no secrets and I shouldn't have a problem showing him my phone when he got home. I was going to ask his sisters to be in my bridal party, and now I don't even know where I stand with them. Do they hate me too? What in the hell did I do to deserve this? I truly don't know who I can trust anymore. I've decided to limit what I'm going to tell them going forward, as I currently think they are FMIL's spies. For now I'm going to try and enjoy my engagement and put all of this out of my head. I guess I'll just have to wait and see what happens with this family. God, that was a blooming gripping story and a brilliant update. Obviously I will keep an eye on this story, and if there's any more information I'll share it with you guys as soon as I know it. Side note, OP says that the nasty woman sells stuff on Craigslist, so OP might want to check Craigslist for the ring. I wouldn't put it past her myself. Well folks, that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the double story, leave a like rating down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.